name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is February 25, 2023, so this is February episode number 25. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but my washing machine is spinning. No, not yet spinning. Maybe it will go spinning soon. So if you can hear that noise, I'm sorry, but it must. I couldn't film on another moment. So today it's Saturday. It started quite sunny and bright. Now there are a lot of clouds. But in the morning the sun was shining, and it remembered me of the beginning of the month, in which those early February days were also quite sunny and bright, and I drank my coffee outside and it was really lovely. And then we got a lot of grey days, and now I saw on the news that the weather will be very good, quite cold but sunny again, so that's nice. It gives me much more a springy feeling, and also the sunlight is not really forgivable in your living room, in your kitchen. You see every little tiny piece of dust or no, I really feel the good cleaning vibes when the sun is shining. So I did quite some hard good work this morning already, and I will go on with that later today. So sunny days are very motivating for cleaning your house. But I want to share my favorite accessories with you. Oh, now it's really getting noisy. Should I wait? No, I don't have time to wait. Oh, I really hope it's not, you can't hear it very good. Okay. And I hope if you can hear it, it will have a calming effect on you. They say when babies are sleeping that the noise, the sound of a washing machine or of, how do you call it? Vacuum. We say stofzuiger, that thing you vacuum the floor with, has can have a calming effect on little children. Maybe also on knitters and crocheters too. I don't feel the calming effect. I only think, oh, I have to hang the laundry within a few minutes when I'm finished. But let me start. At first, I found my shawl. I lost it. I found it. I didn't find my needle point yet, but I found my shawl. It was in my. I have a basket on my bike, and it was in there. So I think when we went to the cinema, when I am biking, I got warm and I put my shawl off and I forgot. And yesterday I had to go somewhere by bike, and I saw my shawl in the basket and thought, oh yeah, of course, there it is. But first, one of my favorite accessories are my mittens. I wear them all the time when it's cold, and I really love them. I knitted them in Alafos Lopi, the thicker one, and quite a few years ago I started to knit with another color. I had a pair of more orangey mittens and I lost one. Oh, that was so sad. I lost one when I was biking. Also, I got warm and I put them off, and one dropped at the ground and I never found it back. But I reknitted them in a darker color, and I really love those. The fit is good. I did some modifications, I guess. I made a longer cuff. I don't know, I don't remember. I have these for 2 or 3 years maybe, and I really love them. Now I used to bike a lot, bring my children to school by bike, and especially in the early cold mornings it could be very cold. But the nice thing of these mittens was that when it was really cold, they kept my hands warm, and when I was getting warm, they were quite airy, and the cold air came through, so my hands could cool down. So that was very nice. But when it's really cold, I think 1 layer is not enough. I would love to make a pair another pair, and then in a bigger size, and maybe try to felt it in the washing machine. But I not really need them, so it's not high on my list, because these are perfect for me in what I do. The Netherlands is not, don't have very cold weather often, and if we do, I even have a pair of leather gloves. But I was quite surprised by the way how these mittens keep my hands warm. They are the world's simplest mittens, a pattern by Think and Knit. They have a series, a bundle of patterns, especially designed for the beginner knitter. And they are all free. You can find them on their Ravelry page, you can find them on their website or on their Ravelry page. And they have mittens and a shawl and a sweater and socks and a blanket, I guess, and a hat. I don't know, I didn't knit everything, but when you are new to knitting, I think it's very helpful, and especially when you are English speaking. Also for the Dutch speaking, there are a lot of Dutch knitters who are a bit afraid of knitting with English patterns, because they think, oh, my English is not good enough. I mean, who thinks that? I didn't have the problem. It is quite a you have to practice it. When I knitted with my first English pattern, I didn't understand anything, and I had to search every term, every abbreviation. I don't know if I say it good. Someone commented, you always say good and never well. And that's interesting, because in Dutch we use goed as in the same meaning as good, and well is not really. I'm not feeling the well. I'm feeling well. So it wasn't good that you said that, because it was very well you said that, because I had no idea. I only was using good. I know I can also use well, but because the good is so familiar, and so just as the goed in Dutch, I always choose that one. So I will try to pick well also, but I don't know if it really is gonna happen, but I will try it. So when I started knitting my first English patterns, I always have to search everything and looked at YouTube and all the things I have to search for, and it took some time, but it worked out. And after many tries, I got familiar with the terms, with the knitting terms, and after another bit of time, I even preferred English knitting patterns above Dutch knitting patterns, and I really still do, because the Dutch knitting language is so hard to understand, so hard to follow, and I think for me it is, and I know a lot of Dutch knitters agree with me, but there is almost every Dutch knitter is a bit afraid of English patterns. And when my mom, she was also a bit afraid, and she thought, oh, I don't know. And I told her, Mom, you really love it. You really will love it. Just try. And she did try, and she learned, and she struggled the same as I. And then afterwards, she said, oh, you were right. This is so much more easy. So that's quite interesting. And these simple patterns, I'm not sure about the name of the bundle, from Think and Knit, are really a good practice for Dutch knitters. But also when you're an English speaking new knitter, then they are also very nice. And you don't have to struggle with the language. You only have to learn the knitting language. Okay. These one. Then I have two pair of fingerless mittens. I've showed them a bit during my walks. These are I knitted them for myself, and I really love the fit of these mittens. I made them really long. It used to be a free pattern on Ravelry, but I'm not sure if it's free anymore. I think they called fingerless mittens, I don't know. You can find them in my Ravelry page, but you have to scroll down because I knitted them a few years ago already. But I really love the fit. It's a 3x1 rib and I made them extra long, but I never wear them like this. I always fold them back. And also this part I made extra long because when it's cold I can hold it like this, and I can also fold it back. So I really love it. And this is a very nice hand-dyed yarn by a Dutch lady. She used to have a very lovely knitting shop in Rotterdam. Saskia from Jawol Rotterdam. And when I discovered her, she closed her shop, so that I only visited once. But I really love this colorway. And it's really nice because I mostly wear my mittens when I go walking with my dog, and sometimes I go by bike, so we can go to the woods a bit further. So I go by bike and she's sitting in my basket, and then when we did our walk and I have to put her up and to bring her in my basket, and she's dirty, all the mud and all the water and the sand, and she's very dirty, so my hands also get dirty. But with this colorway it doesn't matter because you can't see, is it mud or is it dirt or is it just a nice dyed yarn. And I wash them once a year when the winter is over, and then now these are also, it can be very cold in the mornings, although it can be very nice and warm weather on the day, but in the nights and the mornings it can be very cold, and that will till May it can be, and then mostly it isn't as cold in the morning anymore. But I really love them. So I knitted also a pair for my husband, and he doesn't wear them a lot. When they were finished he did, but I think he forgot that they exist. So I wear them. I don't mind because I really also love this colorway. It's a bit darker than the other one. This is more brown and black and a bit of yellow. It's also hand dyed by a Dutch dyer, Sylvia from Walnut Verve. And these are a little bit bigger, but he doesn't have very big hands. And because of the stretch, because of the 3x1 rib, they fit my hands also well. So yeah, I really love to alternate them, and yeah, they're really nice and really lovely. Okay, my chair is a bit broke. It's always a challenge to not get this in my knitting. This shawl is a very old one. Both are very old, and these two I wear all the time when I go outside. This one, maybe I have to try if I can de-pill it, because that wouldn't be a bad idea. But this shawl, I knitted, I didn't use a pattern, I knitted my own. It is on my blog, but it is in Dutch. And last summer I knit the Easy Peasy garter stitch shawl, and you can find how I did knit that shawl in my Ravelry notes. It's easy peasy, just cast on an amount of stitches and then increase. So if you would like to make such a shawl, you can find it in my Ravelry notes on my project page, and also in an Instagram post with this shawl. I made it in July 2022, so you have to search for it. But it's really, I really love the garter stitch, and it's I also really would like to make a scrappy one from this. This yarn is a wool and acrylic mix, and I'm not an acrylic lover anymore, but I really love the color. So I would love to have a woolly one in these colors, but I'm too this shawl still makes me happy, although yeah, it is being used. I really love the fit, the pointy edges, so you can tie them together, and there's not a lot of fabric here, and it's really close and nice around my neck. There is a new pattern by Petite Knit the Sophie shawl, I guess. I don't have it, but when I really love the I-cord edges of that shawl pattern. So when I want to make a new one and I didn't have my don't collect new patterns rule, I would buy that pattern, I guess. But it's when you don't want to buy a pattern, you can also use this one. Doesn't have the I-cord edges. Oh, my Easy Peasy Garden Set does have an I-cord edge, but not as beautiful as Petite Knit. But hey, I'm not a designer and I don't want to be, but it is still a nice and warm shawl. So I really love the shape of pointy shawls. So this is one, and I also have a light one, and that's this one is crochet. It's also a few years old, and it's also with pointy shapes, and it's a bit wider in the middle. I casted on three stitches, I guess, and then I increased at one side, and when I had a very deep shawl, I I did a bit of a rib stitch with crochet, and then I decreased to here. And it's very I also love this shape because I can wrap it around my neck, and then I have the pointy edges to wear it like this, and yeah, it's just perfect. I don't want all the fabric here, and I really love this shape. I prefer it a lot above the triangle shaped shawls. I really think they are beautiful. I have absolutely the most beautiful shawl I have is a triangle knitted shawl, but I do not love the shape, the model, the wearing, and I really love this one. So I am now how I made this is also on my blog, but it's in Dutch, so I'm sorry, I will not translate it. Don't ask me anything because I don't know, and it's just what you have to figure out it yourself. I also don't know, do the measurements. I'm sorry. But I am making my scrappy shawl with my magic yarn ball. That shape is based on this one. So when I finish that, I write it down, and I will share the measurements and all, but that will take quite some time, so I'm sorry, but don't, I think the word is underestimate yourself. I often see people, and I understand, I have that feeling that need myself too. You want to know every detail how somebody made something, but trust yourself and trust that you know what you want, and just by trying and looking to, maybe you have a shawl that you wear really with a really nice shape, not a handmade shawl, but just from store, and you can reknit it. You can have it the way you want it to be, and yeah, you can figure it out your own, and maybe that's a little bit more work, but it's also a very satisfying process to create something that's really from you, that's really thought by you, and of course it is nice to follow patterns and make that stuff, and to enjoy the amazing talent of all those people who can make that. That's really nice and fun, but when you see something and you can find a pattern, or you really want it, just try yourself and do something. And both these aren't without a pattern. They are both without a pattern, and they are my favorites. And I guess one part of being my favorite is because they are from me. I made them, and I really made them exactly how I want them to be. So that's why they are my favorite, and not my. And I also have a shawl that's not my favorite, and it's also made by me. So it's not always working out. But I like to believe that, and to tell myself that it's good to create. Yeah, all the way. So I really enjoy that now and then. I would love to make more time for that. Yes. Okay. All the hairs and all the stuff everywhere. Yeah, it is Saturday today. My family is coming at home all today. They are not at home now. They are all doing their thing. But they will come home today, so we are together, and we don't really have plans. A bit around the house, and I hope for some knitting time, because the last few days I had quite some nice things to do, but I have not much knitting time or crochet time. So that, yeah, I will crochet my squares in a minute, and I will share them with you, or maybe I already did at the beginning of the episode. I don't know yet. And I will do some knitting and some things in the house, and yeah, just a relaxed Saturday. So yeah, I will enjoy it. I hope you enjoy yours, and I will see you tomorrow.